2021 meeting of the Town of Southampton Planning Board in accordance with the Governor's Executive Order 202.1 and its related extensions, and until further notice, all of the board's meetings will be held remotely via video conference. So we ask the public to continually check the town's website for updates and new information. Bill, may we have a roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Chair LaFaro.
Present.
Vice Chair Affinity.
Present.
Secretary is here. Board Member Burke.
Present.
Board Member Long.
Present.
Board Member Zuccarelli.
Present.
Board Member Catalanato.
Present.
We're all here, ready to go.
There you go. Please join in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America
and
to the republic
for which
for which
it
it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty.
liberty and justice for all.
For all.
We have 4 public hearings this evening. We have applicants and members of the public standing in via Zoom webinar, which is being moderated by CTV. Charles Certain will be muting and holding the speakers in a virtual waiting room until it's their time to give testimony before the board. A reminder that applicants, agents, and members of the public speaking should state their name and address for the record. A further reminder that despite the Zoom environment, all comments should be directed to the board and not to other participants. The link to participate in this meeting via Zoom can be found on the town's website. The meeting is also being live streamed on the town's website, on the town clerk's meeting portal. If you're having difficulty accessing the meeting, please visit the town clerk's meeting portal and click on the instructions link. Public comments can be made via Zoom, by email, or by uploading them to the town clerk's portal on the planning board page. You will see on that page a button, and you can click to upload your comments. Board members who must recuse themselves from any application will state so on the record and will be removed from the meeting until the end of the hearing. Otherwise, unless otherwise stated at the end of each hearing, these applications will remain open for written comments from the applicant and the public for 30 days. Those comments can be made via email by uploading to the town clerk's portal under the planning board's meeting page. Additionally, in accordance with the governor's orders, these hearings will be recorded and transcribed and will be made available to the public. So the first agenda item for tonight is the East Quogue Mobile Home Park. And do we have just notice, proper notice?
We have proper notice, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
I'll read in the notice. If you could just let Kim Judd in, Charles.
Okay.
Thank you. Please take notice that in accordance with the Governor's Executive Order number 202.1, a pre-submission conference will be held by the Southampton Town Planning Board on Thursday, February 11th at 6 p.m. via video conferencing to consider the pre-submission application entitled East Quogue Mobile Home Park. Such a project is a site plan application for the relocation of 21 mobile home units, no increase in density from the property, lot number 9, south of the railroad tracks to north of the railroad tracks onto lot number 3, with access from Malloy Drive West, located on 2 parcels totaling 94.2 acres located in the Central Pine Barrens Compatible Growth Area and the Aquifer Protection Overlay District located at 58 Old Country Road, Hamlet of East Quogue, Suffolk County Tax Map numbers 900-289-2 and 251-1-3.
Thank you. Welcome, Judd.
Hi, good morning. Good evening.
Kimberly, you want to give us just an overview of
Sure. Kimberly Judd for the applicant. Would you be able to also let in Richard Friedman? He's the president of Third Garden Park Limited. So this is a 94-acre site, and it's comprised of 2 tax lots. The property contains 102 mobile home sites. And what we're looking to do is, if you look at the survey that Claire just put up, you'll see a little property south of the railroad tracks. And that little area is called Section 1, and it's developed with 42 mobile home sites. And these are the oldest mobile home sites in the entire park. They're small units. They're obviously this is a pre-existing non-conforming use. They're all hooked up to cesspools. And what the applicant wants to do without increasing density, so we're not going to go over the 102 mobile home parks that are cumulative on these properties, is to relocate half of them. You'll see it on the screen right now, the section of property sandwiched between Old Country Road and the railroad tracks. The applicant wants to take those half of those mobile homes, so there's 42 mobile homes in that area, and relocate over a time period 21 of those units to the rear of the property. And you'll see that on the survey that Claire put up, and they're numbered 1 through 21 in the back. And what the client is going to do is, as the mobile homes are abandoned in section 1, they're going to abandon the mobile home and the fill in the cesspool, and all 21 homes on the rear of the site are going to be connected to a Fuji Clean IA system. And they're spaced further apart. As you can see, they're pretty well sandwiched in the front part between Old Country Road and the Long Island Railroad. The client has received funding from a grant from the New York State DEC, and I believe it expired, but he extended it, and he's here. I think he might be here. Richard, are you here?
He's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so Richard, the grant that you received, that was extended, right?
Yeah, it's extended until 2024.
Okay. So that's what we plan to do. We plan to, as the homes up front are either bought out or abandoned, relocate them to the rear. I know in some work sessions, the site plan approval is good for 2 years. We'd have to come in every 2 years to renew it. If we still need time, if we don't have the 21 units abandoned, I think it's going to take a lot longer than that, but that's what we'll have to do.
Kim, can you tell us, is this all in the Pine Barrens compatible growth area, or is that to the north?
That's to the north. It's to the north. I think there's some of this property in the rear is in the, I know it's in the aquifer protection, the critical resource area, and yes, the compatible growth area.
Has that area been cleared already?
No.
No. Okay.
Will the grant go beyond 2024? Because it sounds like this could be a long process.
Well, the grant, I think the grant is for the project to be started by 2024. Just the nature of the construction is, I think we'd have to build all the sewer infrastructure at one time for all 21 lots. And then, we'd have to put the entire IA system in, for example, at one time. We'd have to put the entire sewage collection system in at one time. And then as we relocate homes, we'll connect those homes to new pads that we would build, and then obviously connect to the new system.
Thank you.
And you'll abandon the old sites, yes?
Correct. Yeah.
And what will happen with that property?
In the front?
Yeah.
Just one correction. I think there's actually 43 homes in front, not 42. That's there's 102 homes in the park. It's still going to have about half of the homes will still be on it by the time this project is done. So it will be the use that it is now. It will just have half as many homes on it.
So it'll be 21 in the front, 21 in the back.
22 in the front and 21 in the back. Yeah.
Any other questions from the board?
Yeah, so the access will then switch from Old Country Road to down Gleason. Is it Gleason Avenue? To those back lots?
Well,
Go ahead, Richard. I'm sorry.
you want to speak to that, Kim?
Well, I think we wanted to keep the current access, and the board had indicated about opening up Malloy Drive, which you can see over here where it says emergency access.
Where is that?
If you look at Malloy, there it is, right where
Oh, there it is.
the
Yeah.
hand is.
Yeah, I mean, it's more convenient for us to keep our grade crossing for our tenants. I mean, you can see, like, if you live in the middle section, to go up Gleason Drive, across on Malloy Drive, and then down Willow Road and Birch Street back into the middle section is a bit of a longer drive than just the current access is today, which is just to come in on Oak Street, go over our grade crossing and go into the middle section. So our preference is to keep our existing grade crossing.
And those lots that are along the periphery of your project, are those development? There was single family home. I can't read, the print is so small.
On Gleason Drive,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a subdivision. Those are single family homes.
Yeah. Do you own that, or is that part?
No, no,
Okay.
Are there homes there?
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone in the public who wants to speak to this? Kim, did you?
I have not heard.
Yes, I have one
Okay,
or two. Nicholas Tabari.
and Cindy McNamara?
Mhm. Yep.
And Barbara Thayer?
Yep. That's great.
Okay, so
Do we just start while we're waiting for everyone else to
You may.
click on? Hi, I'm Cindy McNamara. I am the chair of the East Quogue CAC. We have been following this since the original application some time ago, a few years ago. There are questions that have come up in the community. I know I'll touch on, since you were just speaking on the railroad crossing as the latest thing that you were just addressing. I know that those on Corbett and Gleason would prefer that their crossing is not used and the mobile home park keep their own crossing, because it would be a lot more traffic through their development that they don't currently have. That was a major concern with the community. If you look and you drive through Gleason, the intersection with Gleason and Old Country is not a very, it's a touchy intersection as it is, and to put that many more cars through it, it's just not meant for that. The concern now also is there was a question about the 21 homes. The original plan called for abandoning all of the homes in the front and moving them to the rear of the property. And the plan then was to basically have that front area be reclaimed and be put back to its natural state and not have any homes up there. So now there's going to be 21 or 22 random homes in the front that aren't going to be, abandoned, and then another 21 in the back. And if you look in the back, there's a lot of clearing that has to happen for that to happen, and roadways and paved roadways to go in. The feeling is that it's great. The septic is a great thing to have, especially as close it is to Weesuck Creek. But I know they couldn't come up with the 42. The question is, how long is it going to take them to do the 21? There's a lot of questions in the community. There's a lot of questions from people that live in the mobile home park who aren't clear on how this is going to happen, how parcels are going to be bought out. And on the owner's part, that needs to be addressed. I mean, they're coming to you with a plan, and there's people that live there that don't know if they're going to be displaced, if they're, are there, and these are just things that have come up. Are their maintenance fees going to go up because they want them out of there? Is it going to become more expensive to be there? these are all just concerns that have come up from the people that live there. Like I said, the waste treatment part of it is fantastic, being where the property is. There's just questions of, and the biggest one that I have seen, the biggest pushback on this is that traffic going onto Molloy Drive into that Gleason and Corbett neighborhood, because they have never dealt with that amount of traffic in that neighborhood. So that's the question. And then those front sections, if you look at the map, the 22 homes currently, there are several access roads that they come into the front. It's a condensed area and there's a lot of homes there, but there's multiple roads for them to access from. So now all of that's going to be coming through where it doesn't currently. So it was just traffic patterns. And like I said, if Gleason and Corbett can be removed from the situation, that's a huge hurdle, because that's the biggest complaint I have heard. And that's pretty much, I mean, from that on it, everyone's willing to listen and hear and but
Okay.
that was the two main concerns, the traffic and the letting people who live there know how it's going to be handled.
Okay, we'll try and get some answers for you.
Thank you.
Nicholas Dubarry?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes?
Okay. I'm a resident on Gleason, and I just want to let you know I'm opposed to this plan. I've been a resident here since 1995 when the development was built. Back when in the planning stages, Gleason Drive, the developers and the town had wanted to, if you look on that drawing that was shown earlier, there was a road, as soon as you cross over the railroad tracks to the right, they had wanted to utilize the mobile home park entrance for Gleason Drive, so they wouldn't have to construct another railroad crossing. At the time, the community of the mobile home park and the owners did not want to do that. They didn't want our traffic coming through their entrance so we can access our road. So they had to construct another railroad crossing for Gleason at the expense of all the 30 homeowners on Gleason and Corbett. So the residents of Gleason and Corbett at the time paid for that railroad crossing so they can extend the road to Old Country Road. But the amount of traffic increase that's going to happen passing through, it's not going to be well liked.
Okay. Thank you. Barbara Fair? Barbara, are you there?
Yes, I am, Jackie. I have no comments on this particular application.
Okay. Liz Jackson? Liz, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Can hear you, can't see
Put
you.
the video on. There you go.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I have been one of my Liz Jackson, 35 West Side Avenue. One of the concerns that we were having with residents in general was trying to figure out exactly what the plan was. Kind of like what Cindy mentioned, is looking at what was posted online. Some stuff there wasn't enough of it. So for example, like the 21 houses at the beginning and the front part now were being kept there. So I guess their septic systems would just stay as is, or so they're not going to change that. At one point it sounded to the residents like that was going to become a green space or something. So now there's just going to be 21 miscellaneous residences there. Then this part 2 is going to have the existing cesspools. Section 3 would have existing cesspools, and section 4 would have the new system. I don't know if their inclination was to somehow make the new system retroactively fit back into the original houses. Otherwise, it seems like a lot of clearing to add expansion and only have 1/4 of the houses be on the new system and closer to the Pine Barrens. So that was a little shaky in question. Also, just for understanding what the plan was, the surveys that were uploaded, we were looking at, it was confusing to figure out where the access was going to be, even just so much as kind of errors in the writing, and that it's Malloy Drive West, I guess. It's not just Malloy Drive proper like the survey had shown. And the fact that that other road, which is, I appreciate Mr. Dabari talking about that, because I was there just now, and that didn't look like an access point. There's actually the town recharge basin that's shown right after the railroad tracks is a depression, like fenced in area that's also kind of not shown on the survey that we were looking at. I think that there has been history of the railroad wanting them to reduce the amount of different interference parts that they have. So it made sense if part of the plan was to consolidate, but not if the beginning part of the subdivision is still going to have 20 houses. That doesn't really make any sense. So I think before anything got too far along, it was still hard to figure out what we were commenting on, because things were being left out or not included in a way that we could really find solid evidence of what was going on. I also think just in future, for postings, I just went and looked, and if Malloy Drive West is an actual road, did those houses get posted at all for this? Because the parcel would have abutted up to those properties, and I didn't see any postings anywhere in that neighborhood. So just to make sure everybody knew that was active of those that were going to be bordering on it.
Okay, let's see if we can get you some answers. Kim, do you think you can address some of these questions? Like,
Yes.
how long is it going to take to, did you take some notes?
Well, yes, I'll start with the access, since that's the most concern. That's what the residents have concern about. We don't need to do the Malloy Drive access. That was something that was proposed to us a while ago. If that's something the board does not want to see, we're fine with taking that off the table. As Mr. Friedman said in the beginning, he prefers the access to the properties where it is. So if that is something that the board wants to see taken off the map, the Malloy Drive, that's something certainly that we can accommodate. The 21 homes, no, we can't give you a time period, because those tenants in that section 1 have rights, and we can't just go in there and tell them you only have 5 or 10 years. So what Mr. Friedman and I have said all along was, as people want to sell their units or they become abandoned, the park would step in and purchase that. And then hence why it's going to take longer than the planning board approvals allow for. We would have to come in and renew them as the units become available. And I think Mr. Friedman and his team have been very good at speaking to the residents and telling them that this is not something where you're going to be evicted or you're going to be told that you have to move out. And that's quite to the contrary. They've been a very good team and keeping in touch with their people about
I can speak to some of those issues too. Thanks.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was taking notes. We've always said to the tenants, I think quite explicitly, that the program is entirely voluntary. Right now we have 4 vacant lots in the front, and we have 1 vacant lot in the middle. And so we're starting really with 5, because I think we will probably relocate a house voluntarily at whoever decides that they want to go. We'll relocate one of the houses from the front into the 1 lot that we have in the middle. That'll leave us with 5 in the front. And we'll start with those 5. We'll start by abandoning those 5 lots. Do I know which lots are going to end up being the 21 lots in front that are going to be abandoned? No, I don't. Will we try to scatter them as best we can? Yes, of course. That's the whole point. Was this plan originally to move all 43 from the front to the back? Yes, that was the original plan. That was now 2 years ago. That was really, I would say, more at the urging of the planning board that we try and accomplish that. And the more we looked at it, it's just not realistic. We just can't accomplish that in a voluntary way. Are we going to raise people's lot fees, lot rents? We're going to raise people's lot rents. We're going to raise people's lot fees. 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 We're going to raise our lot rents actually happen to be between $150 and $250 a month lower than most of the parks in Southampton, and that's entirely at our discretion. They're lower because we want them to be where they are right now. Now, in the last year, New York State has enacted rent limitations on how much you can increase rents in mobile home parks in New York State. And by the way, that was triggered in part by some very large rent increases, obviously not from us, from parks in Suffolk County. That's where that law came from. And so we're limited to a 3% increase anyway. And just for the board's edification, this past year, a full 3% increase would have been $15 because our rents are now about $5.50. We raised the rent $9. So we didn't even take the full increase that we were entitled to under state law. I mean, we own 102 parks. We're the largest park owners in New York State, or one of the largest park owners in New York State. We take our responsibility to our tenants very seriously, and so we're not looking to disadvantage any of our tenants in any way. But we have a situation where we are being forced to abandon lots because we can't accommodate new septic systems in the front under the revisions to the health code in the last 5 or 10 years. And so that's really the genesis of this plan. Will the wastewater treatment system, could it accommodate the entire park? Not in any way that's economically feasible, it couldn't. We already went down that path. That would require an expansion. That's not possible. And so really the best we can accommodate is to put the new lots, the relocated lots in the rear, on the new system. But there's really, the project's just not economic. And that requires a grant, by the way. Even to do that requires a grant. To connect up any larger number of homes in the existing community is just not possible. It's just financially impossible to make those numbers work. I think it's better to have approximately a fifth of the homes on a more modern sewage treatment system than none of the homes, and that's really sort of one of the core aspects of this plan. I think that and then there was a question as to how long will it take, and Kim, I think, answered that one. Since it's a voluntary plan, it's really, I can't give you any great timelines. And if I thought we could move more homes, I would have proposed a larger relocation area. But I think that's pretty much all that we can realistically expect to be able to relocate with a voluntary plan in any reasonable amount of time.
Richard, forgive me if I missed this. Is there a plan to revegetate the abandoned lots?
I mean, I think we'll grass them and plant them. Yeah, we're certainly not going to leave them as, I think that would be awful to just leave them as gravel and charge the concrete and old driveways. Yeah, we'll reclaim the lots and make them as if it were a community with just larger lawns. I think that's what we'll do.
Thank you.
I have another question. Sean, you can unmute.
Jackie, you're muted.
Sean.
Old driveways. Yeah, we'll reclaim the lots and make them
Sean.
as if it were a community with just larger lawns. I think that's what we'll do.
Sean.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I'm curious, is there any timetable for demolition of the trailers? And when will the new homes be built?
Jackie, you're muted.
I'm muted? I'm not muted. Oh,
It's all kinds of feedback.
Yeah, there's an echo somewhere.
Not an echo.
I believe the question was, is there a time frame for building? Is that right? Mr. Garion, is it?
Yeah, he's continuing. to
muted.
speak.
so
Feedback.
Yeah, there's an echo.
Mr. Garion, you have to shut off whatever secondary unit you're using because what you're getting is a delayed feedback, if that's possible.
I tried this.
I believe the question was, is there a time frame for building? Is that right?
we're getting a delayed audio. Let's,
Yeah, he's continuing. to speak.
anything you could do, Charles?
It sounds like he's recording it. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask him the question I had. Was it the one posted
What you're getting
along?
is delayed feedback, if that's possible.
Can everyone hear?
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes, I can hear
Was
you.
there proper posting on the adjoining properties?
Yes, we were given 8 signs. We were told where to post them, and we took pictures of all of them and emailed them.
Okay, we have some questions in the chat. Council, can we read those? Or,
I can see them.
If you'd like to, Madam Chair, but I would encourage all of the people who are writing in the chat who are on this to raise their hand and ask their question in a more formal manner. But having said that, I appreciate that we can try and answer those questions or have the applicant answer those questions. But again, if you're typing in the chat, please just raise your hand and indicate to our moderator that you have a question and you'd like to be heard.
I have someone.
okay,
I have a few people. Okay. Can you see? Okay.
KUC, is that who we're,
Yeah.
so there's no audio and no video?
You have to unmute. You want to ask a question, you have to unmute.
So can I reiterate regarding scheduled demolition dates?
KUC, is that who we're? Oh, we're having an audio issue with, I
No.
think, Sean Garion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear
Playing
three
it
voices.
elsewhere and you're hearing that.
You have to unmute.
I am unmuted and I hear 3 different voices.
Question, you have to unmute. Sean, I think, are you trying to record this?
So can I reiterate regarding
Okay. I'm just gonna-
Okay, so he has left. And who is KUC?
I'm trying to get them to put their video on. There's another attendee that wants to ask a question, so. I'm gonna go to him.
He doesn't have a camera.
Sean, I think, are you trying to record this?
It's an
I'm
old
gonna
one.
take him out. Unmuting him,
Okay,
so.
so he has
Madam
left.
Chair, KUC is indicating they do not have a microphone or a camera.
He has no, well, he's gone.
No, he's still there.
There's no
Okay,
image.
so I'm gonna let the other person in. This is Karen.
Karen? Is that the KUC
No.
person?
Karen Nuri.
We don't see that. Oh, there's Karen Neary. Karen, are you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Good,
Hi,
thanks.
Karen.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. I live in the front. I just have a quick question. If we decide to abandon, do they pay us money for the mobile home? Or if we want to move to the back, will they pay to move us? I wasn't sure how that worked.
Richard?
We're not planning on moving any homes from the front to the back.
Okay.
Many of them can't be moved even if we wanted to move them, but the plan is to purchase or we have homes abandoned in the front, then we abandon that lot, then we get to sort of check that lot off the list, and then we get to replace it in the back. Homes in front are, you know, they're gonna continue to resell the way they have for the last, 25 years of our ownership. If you want to sell your house to a third party, by all means, go ahead. If you want to sell it to us and we can work out a price, great. That works too.
Okay, thank you. That's all my only
Entirely
question.
voluntary.
Okay, Charles,
Seems like that's it.
what is KUC?
I don't know.
Well, maybe he could send a letter to us.
They won't start the video. So.
Yeah, this is pre-submission, Madam Chair, so there will have to be a 30-day written
30-day
comment
written
period.
comment period. Okay. So I hope that we've accommodated everyone. Kim, Richard, any other closing comments? No?
John, you're muted if you're trying to speak.
Okay, without,
I had one other comment. I don't know.
who is speaking? I have
Liz
no.
Jackson.
Liz Jackson, okay.
Let me see. I guess I have to start my video again. The question would be is how the clearing could take place. The only access now for all the residents is on that one road in and out by the railroad crossing. So that may have been part of why the original proposal talked about Malloy Drive West being in the equation, because the existing lots have been there for so long. Current times, if you had to install all of this equipment and all of these clearing and roads and everything, I'm not sure how they would get access to the spots currently without just disrupting all the residents in the existing lots.
Richard, do you have a response to that?
Sure. The original access through the other, I forget the names of the roads. That was really the recommendation of the planning board, not ours. So it was not for construction access. Other than that, there is no construction access other than through the existing community. But this is not like building a building where you have yards of concrete coming in every day or fill or trucks going back and forth every day. I mean, we need to move the construction equipment in at the onset. I don't think there's going to be all that much truck traffic through the community in particular. There will be some, obviously, but not a lot. We're not actually constructing buildings other than pre-manufactured homes. And we are pouring pads, but it's not like we're putting up a 6-story building and we need to bring in all the materials for that. It's mostly site construction. And so I think the construction traffic will be relatively low, fairly minimal, not nothing, obviously. And obviously we'll work with our residents to make it to make the disruption as low as possible.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Diane? Hey,
Diane, when you put your video on and your audio, please.
Okay, unmute. You have to unmute yourself. There you go.
I just have a question. I was wondering whether.
Can you give us your name, please?
Oh, my name is Diane Hayes. I'm just trying to know whether or not these new units that are planned for the rear are all planning to be double wides.
Yes. They're all intended to be double wide homes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no more, Charles?
I think I have one more. Let's see. The same guy, Sean Gearing. I'm just going to allow him to talk. Okay, you can speak, Sean. Unmute.
Double wide homes.
Thank you.
Okay, no more, Charles?
You can speak, Sean. Sean.
Yes, can you hear me?
Speak.
Yes, we can.
I have a question. Are the new units 3 bedrooms?
Yes. 2 and 3. There'll be 2 and 3 bedroom units.
Do you hear that? 2 and 3 bedroom units.
What will be the price of the new units?
I can't answer that question. I mean, they're not built yet.
Yes.
So.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Okay.
And can I just, this is Liz Jackson, to say that the expansion would also involve removing the native pine barrens area that's back there. So yes, you might have less concentration of septics, you'd have the upgraded septic, but just to consider the positives and negatives, that is the other component, is that right now it's native pine barren vegetation, and this expansion would be taking that away. So you could have the lots back there, and you'd be expanding closer into the wetlands, not wetlands, closer to the aquifer protected area back there as well.
Okay, any other comments from the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion to close with a 30-day written comment period. Motion by Dennis and second by Phil. All in favor? Opposed, abstentions, 7 in favor. Thank you, Kim. Thank you,
Thank
Richard.
you. Have a
Thank you.
good evening.
Yeah. Okay, we're moving on to the bridge, staff housing and maintenance building. Claire, who is here for that?
If you could let in Jake Watkins.
And the board has proper notice, Madam Chair.
Oh, sorry. Thanks, Kathleen.
Is Jake Watkins?
Jake Watkins or Roger Ferris, I'm sorry. Please take notice that in accordance with the governor's executive order number 202.1, a pre-submission conference will be held by the Southampton Town Planning Board on Thursday, February 11th, 2021 at 6 p.m. via video conferencing to consider the pre-submission application entitled Golf with the Bridge Staff and Maintenance Building. The subject project is for the site plan application for the construction of additional staff housing and an additional maintenance building on a subject 281-acre parcel is improved with an existing golf course located in the CR 200 and R80 QPSUD parcel and within the Aquifer Protection Overlay District on the easterly side of Millstone Road, north side of Midland Highway, south of Noyak Road, and west of Stony Hill Road. Hamlet of Bridgehampton, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-23-1-2.5.
Roger, you want to give a brief overview of the project, please?
My name is actually Jake Watkins. I work at Roger.
Okay.
How are you? Claire, should I share my screen or are you sharing yours?
I can do it if you, that's just the information you gave today, right?
I'm happy to do it too. I've got it open here.
Okay, then go ahead.
So we are proposing a number of projects on the Bridge Golf Course. Three main projects. One is an expansion of maintenance storage facility, approximately 8,100 square feet on a single floor. Another part to this is a new road that basically connects the existing internal road to the maintenance facility, to the new proposed maintenance facility. And the third project is an expansion of an existing workers' seasonal housing facility from an existing building to and expanding it to 8 additional living units that are outside of the existing facility. The existing facility, just to concentrate on that for a second, is composed of 2 stories and a total of 23 units. We're proposing to take 8 of the units out of the first floor and essentially move them to the exterior of the building. The bridge and the seasonal workers that occupy the existing facility were hit extraordinarily hard last season by COVID. And the hope for this, as workers return for the upcoming season, is to essentially spread everybody out, take use of good practices of social distancing, have the main quarters where they're going to be spending most of their time separated from each other. They will sleep in an area that's separated, has a separate air handling unit, and the chance of kind of chance interactions in existing interior hallways will be dramatically reduced. We're proposing also to have a exterior pavilion constructed so that dining and outside kind of uses can be better supported in the summer months. These facilities will also utilize a renovated bathroom inside the existing housing unit. The existing housing unit has a septic system that can support essentially 47 beds. There were 30 workers inside the facility last year, and 28 of them contracted COVID. In light of some of the comments that we have received in this since the initial presentation of this proposal, we're actually suggesting to have a covered walkway that connects these new housing units to the interior facility. As you can see, we're actually proposing to utilize shipping containers for the housing units. It's 2 shipping containers formed together. There will be new glazing skylights on the roof, a new full height slider on the front and on the back for through ventilation, new insulation, high density spray foam insulation on the inside. And like I mentioned before, each unit will have its own HVAC system. There's a core group of workers returning to the bridge in April for work, and the main group, the entire group, will be there from June to September. I say that because, and as I've discussed with Claire and you all in the past, time is really of the essence with this project. We're trying to create a safer environment, a healthy environment, an environment that will not cause and spread a virus that's obviously affected all of us so prevalently. In light of that, trying to expedite this project would be greatly appreciated. That's essentially what we're proposing this time.
Does each container house 1 person or 2? You didn't show it. Do you have any interior illustrations?
We have this plan. It doesn't have a furniture layout for this plan, but this is essentially the size of the unit is 20 feet long by 16 feet wide. Door on the front of the unit and door on the rear of the unit.
Have you done any more research on bathroom facilities, like the composting toilets or alternatives?
We've looked at composting. We've looked at putting new bathrooms in the units. We're still proposing and would still like to work with Claire and work with building officials to show, and we believe this is the case, that an existing bathroom facility, a campsite almost facility inside the unit, is the best sort of practice for this, both from a time and cost perspective. And I think utilizing the existing septic system that is really can be utilized for all the facilities that are in here would be the best way to proceed with this.
What about health department approval?
Because the existing sanitary system is sized for 47 beds, and we're essentially just displacing beds that are inside of this building to the outside. Health department would give a would be a sign off, and that'd be done by the local building official. We're not expanding the use. We're not expanding the number of units. We're not expanding the use of the sanitary facility.
And what kind of septic system do you have up there?
It's a traditional septic system that the design consists of. I don't know if you can see this here.
It's not the new upgraded AI system, right?
It's not. But just to note again, it is sized for 47 beds, and currently 30 workers would be housed in total in the facility.
Well, I guess an obvious question would be, why not just get your people vaccinated?
Well, we started this proposal because of the extreme hike in the virus and because of the uncertainty of who would be able to get vaccinated and who wouldn't be able to get vaccinated. And because of the timing of this too. We're trying to, of course, that's a great way to approach this, but we're not trying to rely on that. We're trying to rely on this spacing planning point of view, which we know has been successful in the past of not spreading the virus.
Well, again, I come back to you sort of devil's advocate. You've got a facility that is capable of housing 47 people. You've got 30. I just wonder why you can't somehow get these people taken care of. I mean, I don't find these shipping containers to be particularly attractive, for one thing. And secondly, you've already got space. If you can get your people vaccinated or tended to, I don't see the need for the expansion.
It's a big trend, Phil, in the building. Shipping containers, I've read some information. It's a new trend. It's a reuse of existing materials. And I don't think we should be wading into the vaccination issue. That's an internal decision that's very subjective, and we can't direct people to get vaccinated or not get vaccinated.
They're not allowed to be, more than likely. I mean, they're not in one of the pools, and even the pools that can get a vaccine can't.
Well, even if they can or can't, there might be medical issues. There might be other issues where they cannot get vaccinated. So I don't think we should, it's the purpose of our board to get into the vaccination issue. We're here to determine the appropriateness of the architecture. I'm familiar with these shipping container designs. It's one of the newest trends in affordable housing, workforce housing.
I think they're creative as well. But
yeah.
So what did you find out about your alternative toilets?
In terms of what the options are?
Yeah.
Composting and may actually contribute to higher nitrogen levels in the soil that we're trying to avoid at this point. I think that's sort of an antithesis of what the new IA systems are trying to do for all the septic systems.
Composting toilets do not go into the ground. I don't know what composting toilets you checked out, but
they get disposed of elsewhere. So, and then in terms of individual units, it's a matter of cost and time of trying to get it done. We have a facility that actually can utilize and can support the workers that are there.
Are these temperature controlled in
They
any
are.
way?
Each one would have a Mitsubishi unit. And we want to, but ideally, I mean, because of the fact that it has a door on the front, a full height door in front of the back that can open up, there'll be fan also, and they'll have natural ventilation in each one in the summertime.
It's pretty hot and humid out here in the summer.
I know. I've been there. It's also, you can get a nice breeze too up on the hill.
I understand that, but what are within their testing of these units, what is the optimum heat internally on one of our average summer days or spring days? There must have been, there's got to be some statistics on that.
Well, Robin, we're approaching each of these units from a building envelope code perspective. The insulation values in the units, the glazing in the units, the R value of that's in all the walls, and then the actual mechanical unit itself is sized for the size of each of what these sleeping units is going to be. So because of the insulation levels, because of the U values of all the glazing, know that from a building code perspective and a tom check perspective, it meets all the comfort requirements that they're going to want.
Is there electric to these buildings?
There would be electric to each of the buildings. Yeah.
Didn't you say that there's a Mitsubishi heating and cooling system in each building? Did I make that up?
No, yes, there'd be it's like one of those suitcases that you can attach to the side of each of the units.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they work very, very well.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That's what I was asking. All right.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
You kept saying cross ventilation and nothing else, and I'm thinking all you're doing is cross ventilation, which.
No.
Some of these units, the workforce housing we've done in Southampton town, that's what's been put into each apartment.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it's a better upgraded system, but that's how they're heating and cooling.
Okay. I'm sorry. I heard just cross ventilation. That's all.
I heard the Mitsubishi.
You heard Mitsubishi, Gloria. So your half and my half, we made a whole there.
They all have to meet New York State Building Code.
Okay.
So is there anyone here to speak to this application? Charles, is there anyone?
I see no hands.
You see no hands. Okay. Any other comments from the board?
Motion to close with a 30-day written.
Motion by Dennis, second by Robin, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, 7 in favor. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, number 3 is the Jet Cab LLC and Watermill. We have notice, Kathleen?
Board is proper notice, Madam Chair.
Okay. Hi, Liz.
Hi,
Let me do notice for you. Please take notice that in accordance with the governor's executive order number 202.1, a public hearing will be held by the Southampton Town Planning Board on Thursday, February 11th, 2021 at 6 p.m. via video conferencing to consider the pre-application entitled Jet Cab LLC. The application consists of a 2-lot subdivision of a vacant 173,227 square foot parcel, 1.71 acres, situated in the CR 60 zoning district, water quality improvement high priority area, agricultural overlay district, an archaeological sensitive area located at 150 Head of Pond Road, Watermill, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-113-2-24.1.
Can we get a map up?
Yes, I'll take care of that.
Thank you. Good evening, board members. Liz Vale, Farrell Fritz, 50 Station Road, Watermill, here tonight on behalf of the applicant. As Anthony said, this is a pre-application for a proposed 2-lot subdivision of a vacant 4-acre parcel located at 150 Head of Pond Road in Watermill. It's in the CR 60 zoning district. Proposed lot 1 will consist of 98,739 square feet or 2.27 acres And proposed lot 2 will be 74,488 square feet or 1.71 acres. The property will be accessed from Head of Pond Road by a shared common driveway, as you can see on the plan in front of you. The proposed standard plan will create 2 oversized lots in the CR60 zoning district with an average lot size of 86,000 square feet. The larger lots will be more in keeping with the lot sizes to the north and west of the subject property that are part of the subdivisions of Frank, and then there was another one, Wetmo, which created an average lot size of 1.5 acre lots surrounding the property to the west and north. Do you have any questions?
Can you just scroll down, Anthony, to the aerial?
Sure.
Okay, great.
Liz, the zoning board made a determination
Oh,
that
yes.
this here was single and separate.
Sure, that was at 154 Head of Pond Road. We just received a ZBA decision dated January 21st, 2021, deeming that lot single and separate. And that was important to this application because it means that we don't need to include it in this proposed subdivision application.
Right.
Thank you.
That's the relevance.
Right. No overlay districts?
It
No,
has
there are-
overlay districts, the Ag Overlay District, as well as
Archaeological,
sensitive, correct?
right.
Yep.
Suffolk County Water or?
The proposed subdivision, will it be Suffolk County Water? We're going to have to send the letter of availability and see how far and see if it can be hooked up. I haven't done that yet because we're just at the pre-app stage.
Yeah, what is the adjoining? Is it well or Suffolk County here?
I actually don't know, Robin. I'd have to look that up.
Pretty sure there's water in that area, Robin. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think there is. I can't tell on here, but I do have it on GIS. But I think there is water in the area.
In the area, okay.
Okay, are there any other questions from the board? Charles, is there someone in the waiting room?
There's no hands.
No hands. Okay. No hands, hearing no more questions. I entertain a motion to close with a 30-day written comment period.
I think we can go 10 days on this. No, is it?
Well, 30 days by statute.
30 days. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Gloria, motion by Gloria and second by Phil, all in favor.
Aye.
All, 7 in favor, no abstentions.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay,
board members.
thank you.
Liz is going to stick around, right, for the next one?
Yeah, for the next one. Thank you.
Let's see if this one's any harder.
Patrick?
I'll put it up and then I'll read the notice.
Do we have notice?
We have proper notice, Madam Chair.
Anthony?
Okay. Please take notice. Wait, what am I reading here? Hold on, I think I have the wrong one in front of me. Okay. Please take notice that in accordance with the governor's executive order number 202.1, a public hearing will be held by the Southampton Town Planning Board on Thursday, February 11th, 2021 at 6 p.m. via video conferencing to consider the final application entitled Hat Trick. The application consists of a 4-lot subdivision inclusive of an 85,849 square foot parcel currently improved with the single-family residence and accessory structures, along with the adjacent existing 28,892 square foot parcel, also improved with the single-family residence and accessory structures, located within the R20 zoning district and New York State archaeological sensitive area, located at 55 and 69 North Bishops Lane, Tuckahoe, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-158-3-37 and 38.3.
So good evening, board members. Liz Vale, Farrell Fritz, 50 Station Road, Watermill again for the applicant. As Anthony stated, this is a proposed 4-lot now subdivision located in Tuckahoe at 69 North Bishops Lane. Originally, our application was just for a 3-lot subdivision of the 2.63 acres at 69 North Bishops Lane, which is located in the R20 zoning district. Existing lot 1, as you can see, is improved with a single-family residence and accessory structures, and will remain as Lot 1 in the subdivision. And then we're creating 2 additional vacant lots, lots 2 and 3. Lot 2 is proposed to be 29,502 square feet, or 0.67 acres, and proposed Lot 3 is proposed at 28,353 square feet, or 0.651 acres. So while this application was pending before the Suffolk County Department of Health Services, the Suffolk County Department of Health Services discovered that the neighboring lot at 55 North Bishops Lane did not match the 1981 Suffolk County tax map configuration, and it had been altered. Therefore, they required us to include 55 North Bishops Lane, which is a fully developed lot with us, and it has a CO for single family residence and accessory structures. But we were required to include it in this subdivision to get Suffolk County Department of Health Services approval. So importantly, the number of lots is not changing. We're still just creating 2 new lots. And now we just have to include 55 North Bishops Lane as part of the requirements for Suffolk County Health. We obtained Suffolk County Department of Health Services approval in October of 2020 and then submitted our final application. And we are in the archaeological overlay sensitive area. So we did submit a report which was reviewed by this board and Anthony as well.
Liz, what's the that overhanging corner of the 4th parcel? Is
That's the part that was triggering the requirement that we actually bring in 55 North Bishops. That's part of 55 North Bishops. It's going to be included in proposed Lot 3.
So your lot line on 3 has to be jagged out like that to?
No, it's going to actually include that corner, Lot 3. If you look at the subdivision map, I think you can see that. Yeah.
Okay, so that corner becomes part of 3.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. It's R20.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone have any questions?
Excuse me.
Is there anyone in the
No,
meeting room, Charles?
nope.
No?
Well, there are people, but no one's raising their hand.
No one's raising their hands. Okay, so hearing no more questions and having no more people in the waiting room, entertain a motion for 30-day written comment period by Robin. Second by Dennis. Bless you.
Bless
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, 7 in favor. Liz, you had an easy evening.
Thank you, board members.
Okay, a motion to adjourn by Dennis, second by Phil. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, 7 in favor. We are adjourned.
Stay well, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
See you in 2 weeks. See you,
Yes.
Craig.